Everybody reviewed them?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second from Mary Lou. All those in favor of approving the minutes?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. New business?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. BAR 2438, that's 1004 West Whitner Street. You can see the site outlined in red here. Whitner Street is running across the middle of your screen. Heather Wood's apartment is across the street from the parcel. Everybody know where we are? Okay.
Yes.
Great. This application is seeking post-installation approval for a white vinyl privacy fence in the backyard and a black picket fence in the front yard. This is a picture of the house. You can see the black picket fence in the aluminum picket fence in the front and the white vinyl fence there in the back. It's on both the right and the left, as well as the aluminum fence in front. A sort of a detail or a close-in of the left-hand side of the house. There's the right. It is on a corner lot, so you can see down, that's the corner street. I believe it's I Street. Staff recommends, because the white vinyl fence is not in keeping with the design guidelines, specifically it's not a material that's been historically present in the district, staff is recommending two things. One, approval of the black aluminum fence in the front yard, and two, denial of the white vinyl privacy fence in the backyard. That concludes staff's presentation. The applicant is here if there are any questions.
Okay, let's address the aluminum powder-coated fence around the front. Do we have any questions or remarks about that?
I think the black aluminum looks great.
Let's break this into two pieces if you don't mind. Do I hear a motion to approve the aluminum fence? Do I have a motion to approve from Amanda? A second from Michael? Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the portion of the request for the picket fence is approved unanimously. Let's talk about the white vinyl fence. It does not meet the guidelines. Do you have any questions or comments on it?
We have had people take those down before.
We have had applicants apply for approval and they have been denied.
Mm-hmm.
Any other comments, questions?
Yeah,
The
I
applicant
don't
like to
think it's
speak?
something we've ever accepted. Obviously, it's unfortunate that it's already installed, but
Yes.
Oh, I definitely have something to say.
Would you like to speak?
Yes.
Yes, please come to the pulpit.
The fence prior to,
Pull the mic down a little bit lower, please.
the
There you
fence
go.
prior to that was approved, that was in my backyard, was green landscape stakes and farm wire. And if that's what y'all would like to be put back up, I will be more than happy to do so. However, the fence that is put up is because of all of the other problems that are not aesthetic on Whitner Street. The homeless that were living next to my fence, that are constantly trespassing on our property. They have stolen stuff out of our cars, off of our porches. I have caught them in our mailbox and trash can. This is for our safety. I don't care that it's not historically pleasing. I am concerned about my family and our safety. We paid to have all of those trees cut down after I was told by Spectrum, Mr. Darnell, and Anderson County and Duke Energy that they were not responsible for the trees. The trees had damaged what fencing was there. The trees were pulling utility wires away from our home, and nobody would cut the trees. So I phoned Mr. Darnell. Having lived in Richmond Hill, Georgia, a suburb of Savannah, every live oak in that city limits was protected. You cut one tree limb, $10,000 fine. So I researched, I did my due diligence. I called because we were in the historic district to make sure I needed no permit to take any trees down. First of all, Mr. Darnell wasn't even sure if I was in the historic district. He questioned my address. Second of all, I'm sorry, I have a mess and I lose my train of thought. He told me that he did not know if we were in the historic district, but as it was a single dwelling, single family property, no permit was necessary. I did inform him. We are having to take the trees down so that we can replace the fence that is currently here. Once again, farm wire and green landscape stakes. My husband paid $18,000 to have those trees removed. After Mr. Darnell told me, City of Anderson doesn't do it. A month after we paid to have that cleared and revealed a sidewalk on I Street that most people didn't even know was there, I Street closed for a week and a half as all those trees were cleared off. City of Anderson paid for it. They didn't pay for ours to be cleared. They don't pay for that trash that ends up on my fence every day. They don't come and pick that up. They don't come when all of the gunshots are going off behind Whitner Street. Whitner Street is forgotten. The only reason it's on the radar now is because of my fence. And I'm sorry that the fence was never historic. The last owner put it in. I'm not from Anderson, but I am from a very historic town in South Carolina. You may have heard of it, Camden. Cornwallis House sits in my hometown. I'm familiar with historic homes. Anything that historic about that home I would not touch. And if I do touch it, it's done properly. We're having the fireboxes redone now, 12 grand to do it, to make sure that it's proper and done. This is about safety and our peace of mind. Nobody has the right, we are not in an HOA. There is no HOA, none. My husband served 20 years in the Army. He is a retired veteran, 5 combat tours. He should have the freedom to put up a vinyl fence in his backyard as long as it is not an eyesore, it is not a hazard, and it is not obstructing anyone. We may live in city limits, but we still deserve privacy as well, and safety. And that's all I have to say.
Okay. I also live right around the corner from where you live in the West Side Historic District, and I was required to put up a wood fence. I could not put up a vinyl fence.
My neighbor across that church parking lot has a vinyl fence, and their house was built before mine. They have a vinyl fence that was approved by y'all, and y'all denied the black picket fence. You told her no, but you told her yes to the vinyl fence. Now you're switching it.
No.
Okay, well, you're welcome to drive by and look at the house.
We have never approved a vinyl fence.
Well, it's up. And they said they came through your
They did not.
process because they were denied a black vinyl fence. She has no
They did
reason
not.
to lie to me about being
They-
denied a black
they-
vinyl fence, sir. But I'm just letting you know, if you want to discuss the other problems that I talked to you about on Whitner Street, I am more than happy to do so. My fence, I'm not going to talk about anymore. Number one,
That's fine.
I did my due diligence. I talked to Mr. Darnell. Number two, when we purchased that home and our mortgage attorney, they were very smart and advised us to buy title insurance, and we did so. There are no restrictions lifted on that property whatsoever. So if you vote no to the fence, number one, I'm going to file a claim with our mortgage attorney, and we're going to deal with them. And if it, actually what's going to happen first is my State Farm adjuster is going to come and decide what happens with that fence because it received damage from Hurricane Helene. If they say that it has to be repaired, then I'll repair it with vinyl, and I will proceed on with my mortgage attorney and filing the claim with that. If y'all then say that it still has to stay up, then I am going to just call an investor, and I am going to let them know, if you buy this house, this is what you're going to have to deal with the Architectural Review Board. You're not going to want people to live here anymore. Every dime that we have put in that house, and that's over 40 grand for those trees and that fence, was done to local companies. Wickham Fence and Big Boy Tree Removal, over 40 grand put in to local companies. Everything that has worked on that has been local. You want all that money to go because we're looking at selling. Because that's what y'all have driven us to. We feel singled out and harassed. The fence is not unsightly. It is not a hazard.
It is against the guidelines.
No, in your guidelines, you say the materials prohibited. You state plastic, mesh, wood, chain link. You never quote vinyl. It's not in there.
Vinyl is a form of plastic.
Plastic.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't care. When you say plastic to me, I'm thinking those orange mesh. That's a plastic fence to me. Vinyl is not plastic. But I see where y'all are going to go with this. So what do you want to do? You have the audacity. And do you know why you have it? Because my husband served and gave you the right to think that you can tell him what to do with his own property. Let me know what your vote is, but I've already told you how we're going to handle it. And when you want to address the other problems on Whitner Street, you know where to find me. Have a good night.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve or reject this?
Do we have a choice?
Hmm?
Do we have a choice?
No, we don't.
I don't think so.
So we have a motion to reject it
Then with my
Right,
attorney,
motion
we will
from-
deal.
from Michael. We have a
We
second?
really can't do anything. There's nothing y'all can legally do. We don't pay for any of that. We are not in an HOA.
Do we have a motion to reject or approve this request? Motion from Michael? To David, sorry. To reject it?
Yes, to reject it.
And second from Mary Lou. Further discussion? All those in favor of rejecting it? Opposed? Carried unanimously to reject this request. Does the board have any business they'd like to discuss? Staff report?
Just a quick heads up, we're looking at a new comp plan. So there's going to be a training. It's more geared to the Planning Commission, to be perfectly honest, because they have to review the comp plan before it goes to city council. but I think it's a good opportunity for you all too, and you could get your continuing education through it. So be looking for a session to review the comp plan that's coming up. We'd love to have you in attendance.
Okay. There a motion to adjourn? Motion from Amanda. Second from Jill. Those in favor of adjourn? Carried, we are adjourned.